the 90 minutes we've just seen there. Manchester City winning by 3-2, but that second half performance from Leeds has given plenty to talk about. Definitely Michael Bridges and Don Matteo in the studio. As soon as we get reaction from the Etihad, we'll bring that to you. But Bridgie, let me start with you. I don't really know how to feel at the end of that. I mean, obviously very, very disappointed, quite proud of them in that second half as well. An incredible second 45 there.
Yeah, tactical change, and subs were made at half-time. You know, Daniel Farke has been said, you know, hear a lot of fans saying, you know, the changes come too late on in games. It's always the same. Well, no, he made a brave decision at half-time, and the change in personnel, taking off Willie Gnonto, taking off Dan James. I felt for Dan James, to be fair, and Willie, but you've got to be sacrificed for certain reasons. And what it was a change in system. And it was a system that Don Matteo spoke about before the game, that we might have gone with 3 centre-halves with wing-backs. And I tell you what, second half, the way the players galvanised and got back into this game and really put City on the back foot, it was very impressive. There's so many positives to take out of that performance in the second half. Little moments in the first half, but a lot of, I mean, forget that. The second half, there was so many with that system. And I think that's something that we can build on now with that system, the style of play, going forward in the next games against Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah, Dom, in terms of that first half being 2-0 down at half-time, a lot of teams going to a place like Manchester City, or one of the top teams, 2-0 down at half-time, it's damage limitation, right? Let's make sure this isn't 4-5 or a dangerous scoreline. But what Leeds went out there and did shows some spirit in that team to go and do that.
And I think that's what you want, and the fans will appreciate that. You know, I know we didn't get the result in the end, but there's so much good to take out of that, because at 2-0 down, we're thinking the worst. This could be 4, 5, 6, but it wasn't. He made the changes, which, like Bridgie said, doesn't really make too many changes till usually about 65, 70 minutes, but he made them. And the changes system, we talked before the game about possibly playing 3 at the back with the wing backs. It looked really good the way that. I know it might not work in every game, but that worked well for us in that second half.
The lads seem to understand it so much better, considering they haven't played it. But I was talking about the numerical advantage that City were getting with O'Reilly, their full-back, going in.
Yeah.
Phil Foden was roaming, Silva was in there, and we had to find some way to get more of a defensive-minded players in there. And Joe Rodon's second half, the way he was coming in, he was releasing himself from that back line to go in. To make that extra number, it was so well.
Well, I just think with our fullbacks, all our fullbacks want to bomb forward all the time, so it suits when you play with the 3. You know what I mean? Them 2 can bomb on, but they're still going to get back, because that's what they do. But that system just looks so much better, and we look so more fluent on the ball, and we kept the ball so much better in the second half. First half, it's a bit sloppy, you know, and obviously City were putting the pressure on. They took the foot off the gas, and we took advantage. And in the end, I'm just gutted.
You know what made us laugh was the way that you saw Donnarumma go down, pretending he was injured. And Pep Guardiola had all the other 10 players, outfield players around him, to go out with a new tactic, because second half he knew that they were under so much pressure, and we were ready to get back in that game, if not go on to win it with the momentum we had. And it was basically a sign to say, we need a little bit of a breather. Leeds are in free flow here. And when you're doing that and you're 2-0 down, you're able to galvanise a team like that and go and really put it at them. I thought the lads showed character, they showed resolve, and they showed an understanding of how they can take on information and absorb it and play it in a system that they felt suited them.
Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. Let's go to the Etihad, get some reaction from our commentary team, who earned their money today. Not 90 minutes, but a full 100 they were commentating for. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo at the Etihad with their thoughts.
Cheers. Well, yeah, God, that was frustrating ultimately, wasn't it? But then, if you think at half-time, we were talking, Tony and I, about where it was going to go after that, and you thought there was nothing really in it as an afternoon for Leeds United, and then we saw a fantastic second-half performance, and now we're disappointed because they took nothing ultimately.
Yes, because I felt they deserved to. I thought the second-half performance was magnificent, the way they responded. Very much a change of formation, a change of attitude, and a change of fight, really, because I thought we really mixed it in the right areas, went a bit more direct, and got our rewards. And we had them rocking, you know, we really did. But the quality they had on the bench, you know, made a few changes, and at some point you thought they would get a chance, and unfortunately Foden stuck it away.
When that board went up with 10 on it, there was a bit of a sinking feeling there, wasn't it? Because the lift was with the home fans at that point. They thought there's plenty of this game still to go for us to to do what we think we should be doing here, winning.
Yeah, it's very psychological, wasn't it? That once that 10 went up, because you and me both in commentary going, what's going on? And all of a sudden the home fans, they're making even more noise, and they were on the edge of our box then. But I thought we defended magnificently in the second half. I think Haaland got hardly any touches, and it was Struijk that really played well against him. Foden as well in the second half hour was just not in the game at all. It was all us. So to turn it around from a situation where we were really struggling, we were looking at the ball going around us, 2-0 down, to then change things, I thought was a huge compliment.
I mean, the big question mark, we've been talking to some Leeds fans as we walk down to pitch side, those who are sitting in front of us. The big question now is have we seen something in the second half that becomes something of a template going forward potentially?
I hope so. I hope in that level of performance is what we then take into the next game and the rest of the season. Whether we play that formation, 3 at the back and 2 up top, will be an interesting one for the manager to see what he thinks of that. But there's no doubt that they responded well. You look at the players that we had as well, it seemed to suit them quite well. Let's not forget we're missing Longstaff and Stack in the heart of that midfield as well. Yet we come here and had them worried. They put on a centre-half in John Stones and took off Doku just to try and hang on and see the game out. Would you have said that at half-time? Definitely not. So we turned it around. I suppose what you will say at the end of the day, we still come away with absolutely nothing. But I said before the game, we have to produce a performance. And for me, that was one hell of a performance in the second half.
Yeah, so got to carry that one into the next game. Surely that's the message there
and
now,
we're at home. We're at Ellen Road. We know we're very competitive at home. We know Chelsea obviously have some quality players, but you know what? Let's get in their faces, not allow them to play. And we did that at Villa, first 45. We did that really, really well. And here, second half, we did it. Got to put 2 halves together.
So there we go. A nearly afternoon for Leeds United. We've enjoyed so much of what we've seen in the second half. Hopefully, we'll be hearing the manager's thoughts and maybe a player as well fairly shortly.
Yeah, as soon as we get any more reaction pitch side, we'll go straight there. But interesting what Tony was saying there, Bridgie, about that system in particular that you were talking about. We've got these 2 home games coming up now against Chelsea and Liverpool. It'll be interesting to see what Daniel Farke does in terms of team selection and in terms, importantly, of team formation. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's given him and his staff something to think of, because we've got results here at home with the 4-3-3. And it's worked, but that second half performance against a team that I think will really play and have a similar style to what Chelsea will do, could be different against Liverpool again, but I think the way that they like to numerically get advantages in that mid third to the attacking third, and obviously they've got Neto, who I think is in incredible form at this moment in time. He likes to drift inside, so definitely something that they'll be analysing, having a look at and discussing with the players as well. I think there's more of an open relationship there where the lads have got an input, because if you're feeling confident enough in that system, as they showed second half. And for a striker, for myself, when I saw Metro up there isolated first half, Calvert-Lewin came on second half. The 2 of them looked like they played and had a relationship together, because one was going up to win the flick-ons, the other one was dropping in to win the second, so that looked better as well. Yeah, well, let's take a look at the Dominic Calvert-Lewin goal, because this is the one that got us back into the game here, Dom, and just talk us through this, because it was just Leeds started to put on pressure, didn't they? When you put pressure on defenders, things can happen.
They don't like it, do they? And we started so well in that second half, and obviously, like you say, to get that early goal in the second half is just exactly what you need. And the thing about Dominic Calvert-Lewin is, he hasn't scored at home yet, but away from home, he's such a threat. And look at the positional sense. He's in a great position to get into the box there. Look, and he's just I'm just looking now. There you go. He's onside. He's timed that run perfectly. Sometimes I've been judging him for making bad decisions in them areas by going too early. This time he's got it absolutely bang on. Lovely ball inside from Tanaka, and he's got a little bit of luck.
Sometimes you need a bit of luck.
You do need a bit of luck. It's a bad touch. Obviously, an experienced player shouldn't be making that mistake. But I tell you what, he was there to tap it in, and that's one thing. As a centre forward, that's what you got to do. That's your job. But when that happens, take advantage of it, and he did, and that'll give Dominic loads of confidence going in, hopefully, in the next game.
Nemecha with the second one, penalty. Yeah. I mean, no doubts about whether this was a penalty or not. It was sort of flying air challenge, wasn't it, on him?
Yeah, and he does actually win the ball, but he wins the ball after he's made the challenge and brought down Calvert-Lewin inside the penalty area. And, we got the penalty, and it went to VR thinking, it's blatant. Yeah. Just get on with it. Let's get the penalty taken, and it gave us a massive lifeline. And it's always better when you miss a penalty and you actually put it in yourself, because it doesn't go down on the highlights reel as a goal with a pen next to it. It just goes down as a goal.
We're looking at the challenge now, and that's I mean, it's a ludicrous challenge, isn't it?
It is. I'm just pleased that the VAR, because after the challenge is made and Guardiola then gets the ball, City are complaining, but the ball actually fell to Tanaka, who had an open goal, and he should have put it in the back of the net, and he missed. And I could just think if VAR hadn't have given it and hadn't played the advantage there, it would have been pretty embarrassing. But Mecha got the penalty, he took it on board. He did it in his first game of the season at Elland Road from the penalty spot. This time, Donnarumma made the save, but it's sort again a bit of luck that we've needed, and we earned in the second half, fell back to him, and he put it in the net. And at that moment on, I swear, the momentum, I really felt that we could have gone and got something out of this game in a winning sense, rather than obviously them getting the advantage.
Yeah, Nemecha, like you say, better for him because it goes on as a goal rather than a pen. If you're if you're a fantasy football player, though, you lose the points for the miss of the pen, and then you're in the negative, unfortunately.
Well,
but
you can tell
he won't care.
I'm a little bit older than you, so don't take part in that.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it, Dom. Don't worry about it. All that matters is that he scored the goal. But again, you're talking as well about players kind of doing their jobs. Well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Nemecha both getting on the score sheet is an important thing. And that's 3 games in a row. It's Forest, Villa, and this one at City. That, by any standard for any team, to score 3 games in a row in the Premier League is good going.
It is, and I think them two together, they're a handful. If they're both on it, it's going to be a handful for anyone. And obviously, Chelsea will be thinking, this ain't going to be, well, I'm not saying no game's easy, but this is a big game, because there's no love lost with Leeds and Chelsea as well. So I'm really looking forward to this game. I can
tell you from a striker's point of view, knowing that I've got somebody else, obviously we were 4-4-2 and I played, and the isolated, when you played as a number 9, Didier Drogba changed the complexity of football because he could do it alone. It's a tough position to play when you're playing against opposition like we saw in the first half, because you've got 2 world-class centre-halves marking you, you've got 2 world-class defensive midfielders in front of you, and you've got to hold the ball up and bring others in. When you've got somebody playing alongside you, it gives Dom's defensive issues so many more problems, because you can't communicate with each other, and I really felt like that's where we hurt Man City, and hopefully we can go and do that against Chelsea.
In the first half, obviously the match is just on his own up there. Where the second half, bring Dominic on together, playing as a partnership. They did really well.
It's a very different coach journey home now, isn't it? After that second half, Bridgie.
Yeah, because still, like Tony Drigo alluded to, it's still a loss, and it's a loss, and it's a journey back. But like I say, you can get on with it on the bus journey, but come that Monday or recovery tomorrow, the lads have got to come in, and when they show the video analysis of the second half and a few moments in the second half, absolutely, that's what we've got to use as motivation and creativity, and spread the word inside that dressing room that yes, we can compete with the best in the league. We can put an emphasis on a team that love to get possession, because the stats second half were absolutely well balanced. First half through the roof for City, and we got in their faces, so it's something we can grow on.
Don't you think though, Bridgie, when we're going long at times, sometimes it's play, tippy-tappy all the time. Sometimes you've just got to hit a few into the channels. And when we did that, we caused them problems, and they're good players, they're top players. They didn't like it. In the Premier League, I just see too many players and tipping it around, tapping it around. Sometimes get it into the final thirds. Defenders don't want that. They don't want to be heading.
You've got to have the numbers there to make sure you're backing it up to get the second balls if you're not winning it.
But we did.
That's what works second half.
We had that because we had 2 strikers up top wanting to get on the ball, and then the balls come in.
And what do you hate as a defender when things are going in behind you? You know you're facing your own goal.
Exactly.
You're in trouble.
And 2 big physical presence as well. That's, as a defender, that's your worst nightmare.
Let me ask you both. Really good second half performance today. The first half obviously was a difficult one for Leeds. Similar thing against Aston Villa, really good first half performance, and that one, so it was kind of flipped the other way around, and we've seen that a few times. I guess in some ways, and it's the level that the Premier League is, it's turning those 45-minute performances into making sure they're sort of 90-minute performances. How do they go about bridging that gap that maybe has been there in the last few games where you haven't quite got the results, to putting in that overall performance, Bridget?
Well, that's where the player autonomy and the staff come together. That's the team behind Daniel Farke. When they come together, and how they sell the product, how they look at it, how they analyse it, to come up with a performance over the 90 minutes and say, well, there's moments of the game, first half didn't work, we know that. Defensively, well, the first minute. Second half, yes, and there's moments from the first half. What did we do so well against Aston Villa in the first half? What happened second half? Well, they're conceding early in the second half, sucker punch, sucks life out you. What did we do to Manchester City today? Got in the front foot, got the early goal. What does that do? So that it's not just about the performances, it's about this, the mental side of it, getting a bit of luck that comes your way every now and again, and taking your chances when they come. So there's so many things. There's no special recipe And there's no, the managers get paid the big money to come up with big decisions and key decisions to work out the jigsaw puzzle of football, to put it together to find that 90 minutes of football, or 100 as we had today.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time pre-match talking about Haaland, didn't we? But in the end, he didn't get much of the ball.
I saw my dad on camera in the crowd.
Hang on a second, we can cross the Etihad with one of the goal scorers today. Let's cross over to Brindle.
So throw anyway. We have Lucas Metcher with us, but we will have. He's gone off to get himself a coat because it is proper cold now. And you'll be kind of just coming down at the end of what has been, well, quite an afternoon. You'd be ultimately very disappointed not to get anything, surely.
Definitely. Heartbreaking. Yeah, we worked really hard in the second half, and to give it away like that is sad, but we got to keep going. The belief's there. The team, we have a good team, and I think we showed it today, definitely in the second half. We're physical, technically good, strong. Yeah, I think we can do a lot of good things this season.
You did something different in the second half, and it worked, didn't it?
Yeah, we went 2 up front. We went with a 5-3, with 3 at the back, or 5 at the back, and it worked really well. I think out wide they had a lot of threat. Doubling up out there was very good. Centrally, I thought the centre backs did such a good job on the big man up front. I mean, didn't really see much of him. I think we put in a really good shift. I think the first half let us down a little bit, conceding that early, conceding a set piece. It's like the worst start that you can have, especially against City. But to come back from 2-0 to come back and could have easily gone to 5 or something like that. So we did really well. We're just disappointed with the end.
You mentioned the start. I mean, it was a difficult start, but then second half to push City back and have them on the back foot and really ask questions of them. I mean, they were panicking. They changed things, and that must give you a lot of confidence for the next few games now. Yeah,
I think I've never experienced a half time in the second half where they've managed to call the keeper down and have a whole meeting here on the side. I've never seen that before. I don't know how they got away with that. An extra 10 minutes as well. But it showed. I think they were under pressure. We did well. We got to carry it into the next game.
And from the point of view of the fans, that second half performance gives them something to hang on to. They were right behind it, weren't they, in that second half? Yeah,
you could feel it. I think we felt like a home game at times. I think we were super loud, amazing support. I know it's a love-hate thing sometimes. But honestly, we appreciate the fans a lot, pushing us, and it does give you that extra motivation to go. So hopefully we can carry that throughout the home games, return to making that place a fortress and winning some games.
Team talk on the sideline.
What gave it away was the doctor doing the treatment, but looking over to see, he was feeling the leg, but he was looking over at Pep Guardiola saying, when are you ready for me to stop pretending? So that I know they're looking into this rule, because if that's going to be used and manipulated in the way that Pep Guardiola and the staff have done it today, then they're going to have to be bringing in things where if you are going down, even if you're the goalkeeper, you must go off for the 30-second ruling, and that'll cut that out. But it was definitely, the players have recognised it, and that just shows how much we were on the front foot today.
There's no getting past Inspector Bridges. I'm telling you that he's as cynical as this sounds, right? Is that something that we should be doing more of? For example, 6 minutes into injury time, should we be going down, creating that stoppage? Is that
game management, Dom?
Game management, and that's a team that have been in the Premier League for a long time, and actually do we need a bit more of that?
Of course we do. Yeah, you've got to be cute, haven't you? You've got to use everything you can to get things over the line, and we can learn a lot from that. And it's good that someone comes out and says it as well.
Rules are there to be manipulated, but not broken. There you go.
You swallowed the dictionary somewhere today, Bridgie. Jesus.
Glad you didn't go into teaching, Bridgie. We would have had all sorts of problems. It was also interesting hearing Lucas Nemec talking about the Leeds fans there. Really great ovation for the players, which they truly deserved at the end of that 45 minutes. But how it felt sometimes like being around a home crowd. The Leeds fans, we talk about this the whole time, but it does make a big impact, doesn't it? To hear the players talking about it makes you realise that it has an impact on.
Yeah, 100%. You know, Bridgie will tell you, we know what these Leeds fans are like and what they deserve. And I think they got a bit of that today, didn't they? Yeah. You know, obviously it was poor in the first half, so we can forget about that, but there's so much good to come out of the second half. And the fans will be happy with that. Not happy about losing, obviously no one is. But I think the performance, and then they can look forward to...
Hope there.
Yeah, there's hope there, and we can look into this next game, obviously. Tough game. Chelsea, no one likes Chelsea. I keep mentioning that, don't I? But we don't. And at the end of the day, I just think it gives us a bit of a platform now. Get back to training ground on Monday and get out there and go again. That's what it's about. And whether the manager will keep it at 3, I think he might. We talked about this before the game. That could be the way forward. We look at the players we have and the wing backs. I just think
balanced.
I think it suits us.
And at the moment, everybody wants to play Liverpool as well.
Correct.
Isn't it? It's one of them. They're in a right bad run of form. So bring the next 2 games on.
Hopefully to continue for a little bit longer,
Correct.
Bridgie.
Be careful, Bridgie.
He's saying some dangerous things here, mate. Might be clipped up and come back to haunt you. So I'm going to ask you the question I was going to ask you just when we got Lucas Nemecha there. Obviously, don't want to keep him waiting on the side of the pitch. Haaland today, we spent a lot of time beforehand, didn't we? He's on 99 Premier League goals, could be 100 today. How do you stop him? Leeds did really well against him, didn't they? Pascal Struijk physically strong against a player who, on his day, can destroy teams.
Well, you can see the frustration. I mean, him and the manager were having the right chat, if you want to call it that, after the game. But I think what I seen today was Pascal standing up, being, winning his personal battles all over the pitch. Joe as well read the game beautifully from centre half as well. I just think the balance was right today. But I think when you're playing against a player like Haaland, he's that big threat. And I thought the boys dealt with him brilliantly. Probably the best that anyone's dealt with him for a while, because that guy's on fire. He's some player. You can see.
Club and country, by the way.
Club and country. He's just one of those players that you know it's going to be a difficult day at the office. But fair play to them lads, because they dealt with him very well. Not many teams can do that. And how many chances did he have today? Not many.
I think Pep was having a heated discussion with him for the fact that Haaland would have been really upset at his lack of service, lack of touches in a game that he would have really felt he could influence. And thankfully he's had an off day.
You could see at the end half of that's Haaland's frustration, isn't it?
Absolutely.
About going 100 minutes and not having a sniff in the game.
And probably saying, listen, we've got the points, let's get on with it and move on.
This place is going to be absolutely bouncing Wednesday night just before kick-off, isn't it? I mean, given that second half and the fans travelling back and people watching it and with us here on Matchday Live, know that the team are going to be, from that first minute, and going to have to be bang up for it.
I am hoping that I'll witness what I did when I'd just come back from Australia, when I think we beat Chelsea here 3-0. I can't remember, but it was definitely a win. The atmosphere, even playing here in them European nights, that game, my son was here and he was like, Dad, this is incredible. Never witnessed anything like this before. And I was like, yeah, it was super impressive. We need that kind of, but the fans helped the players at that day. The players then reacted and helped the fans out. And it was a spectacular day. Plenty more of that, please. Bring that feeling back.
2 home games to come in the space of a few days. If you're looking at the fixture list, you would have wanted to get something there today, but Man City away is not necessarily the one you're targeting 3 points at, realistically speaking. But here at home, albeit Chelsea, albeit Liverpool, Leeds have to try and get some points out of those games, don't they?
Most certainly. I think at home, we know what the fans are like with us, and they're amazing. But if the players play like they did today, and we get the reaction, like the first half last week at home, we were outstanding. We've just got to make sure, we need 90-minute performance, don't we? We've not had a full performance for me this year, and hopefully we can get that on Wednesday. Yeah,
looking at the table, Burnley losing today as well, so they remain beneath us at the moment. That little area, sort of 18th, 17th, 16th, it's quite congested. There's a few teams in there, but we just need to get ourselves ahead of one of those teams at the moment.
Yeah, and the results that Nottingham Forest have got recently under Sean Dyche, I was devastated for them. For us, the way that went. Everton have moved themselves out of a bit of trouble. So, and West Ham, they've managed to get something going under Nuno Espirito Santo. So the pressure is on, the pressure is mounting, but we were expecting that anyway, being the 3 newly promoted clubs that will come. There's one team have ran away with that, that's Sunderland, who I think obviously are flying. They're sitting in 4th at the moment. The African Nations Cup's going to hurt them. There's going to be a lot of players. So we're in the mix, and that's why these home games, and especially over the next few weeks and months that are coming, Christmas period, always a busy period. We'll have more of an idea in January, but I'm sure we can try and kickstart some, because that second half performance, it gives us some glimmer of hope to take into the next match.
Absolutely. Well, it was an incredible second half, at least. Leeds just missing out to a late goal from Phil Foden, but what a second half performance, and hopefully plenty to take into these big 2 games coming up at Ellen Road. We will bring you all the action, of course, here on Matchday Live, starting with Chelsea on Wednesday. Guys, thanks for your company today. We'll see you back there for the next game.